Yo, I'm Adam Friedman, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Let's talk about this upcoming album that's hopefully about to drop. You've been in the studio working on it. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I started it in my room here, which is now torn apart because I'm moving right now. But a lot of this started maybe 2 years ago. I started working with Posner on his, and we just wrote a lot together, and that kind of started this new phase for me. And I've been writing, and now we kind of slated October as the date to release it. And I have maybe like 15, 20 songs, and I've kind of narrowed it down. I think it's going to be 4 or 5 songs. Yeah. But I'm really excited about it.
Now this is your debut. You've been behind the scenes for quite some time. So what's it like for you to finally get into the studio knowing that it's going to be music of you, like your voice that's going to be heard?
When you're a little kid, right? We were just talking earlier, and like Blink-182 comes on the radio, or like you get the album, and you're just like, you know what I mean? When I'm doing that, that's how I feel when I'm working on these songs. It's like, it's amazing to finally be like, oh wait, this is for my project. I can do whatever I want. Yeah. And that's a big freedom, you know? And it's cool to have had the responsibility of working for and with other people to then take those kind of disciplines that I learned and then kind of let loose for my stuff. So it's a lot of fun.
That's so sick. Yeah. Now, going into the studio with a producer, are you working with anyone specific, or are you doing this all by yourself?
I started by myself. Mike lends a helping hand a lot of times. Okay. I work with this amazing producer, Robopop. Okay. He is the coolest guy. Awesome duo, Blueprint. And I'm currently working with Mick and Brian at 10K Islands right now, too. And so all these kind of different. Yeah, they're great, man. And I'm so lucky to be working with these people. Right. And so, yeah, it's been great.
Now with Mike Posner, I mean, it seems like you've been around his career for quite some time. How did that relationship really start, and how did you even start writing with him?
My publisher introduced me to him 2 years ago in 2014. And when I moved out to LA, I was like a week into living here, and he introduced me to him. And I went to his house. He had heard a song that I had done that I wrote and produced, and he liked it. So he wanted to meet. So we just started hanging out, and we just vibed really well together. And then we started making music together, and then we just kept it going, and here we are 2 years later.
And you're working on his albums, and he's been collaborating on yours. Lemonade, which just recently dropped, he's on it as well. Going into the studio with him on your project now, how different is it?
Well, it's like a lot of people think, like, you go into the studio for your record, you know. It's more like I've been in the studio for years working on this thing. So for me, it's just like when, for Posner, for instance, we had worked a lot together, and maybe a song we worked on 2 years ago is now coming to fruition now, which I'm in my room slaving away for, 6 hours a day on my own. So it's just, again, it's more of a culmination of all these things that I've done over the past years and are now coming together.
Now with Lemonade, for starters, that video is epic, and I'm still in denial that it was shot on zero budget, because you should pretty much, I don't know, that should pretty much be like the commercial for like, come to California, drive through Pacific Coast Highway. You know, that like every angle, every shot that you got on there was amazing. Talk to me about that production of the video.
California, and so. Basically, a year ago, I saw someone flying a drone, and I was like, I want a drone. So I got a drone, and I'm a huge geek with like cameras and stuff like that. And a lot of my friends, my close friends, are photographers, videographers. Yeah. So there was like one day we needed this video. My manager, Max, super manager, was like, dude, you need to get a video together. And I was like, I know, but I don't have any money. And I had tried going to production companies and trying to put a small budget together. It was just this thing that never worked out. So I was like, you know what? There's so many YouTubers out there who are making vlogs on their iPhones or small cameras without a budget. So I was like, I'm going to do that for my music video. So I got my friends. We packed in a car. Within 5 hours, we got packed up and just drove up the coast for 24 hours. We hit Big Sur, and we just saw a cool place, and we just got up the side of the road, put the drone in the air, got the cannons, and it was a blast, man. Then we camped out in the mountains. It was great.
Now, did you actually have like a storyboard drawn out for this video, or it was just, we're just going to drive and whatever we see, we're going to use?
In my mind, it was first, okay, it's just going to be me skating around on my skateboard, looking for someone. That was it.
Which I love the skateboarding concept. I grew up skateboarding, so that was like the best thing.
Me too, me too. So exactly. So I got to do the skateboarding thing. I'm in California. It's my dream. I had always dreamed to live here and live by the PCH and all that. So it was kind of like it was like my fantasy, right? So I got the skateboard and I got the beautiful girl and the model,
Right.
and I just kind of went with it. I figured if I got cool skateboarding shots of me driving through California and I got a model, somehow I could mesh the two, and it worked out. If I had more time, I might have storyboarded it, but I didn't really have any time.
I mean, the video was epic. It reminds me of Justin Bieber has this videographer, and he also works with Chainsmokers and Cruella, Rory Kramer. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but
I've probably seen his video.
it reminds me of his work. It's just epic at all times. So I mean, like, the video just came out amazing. So I can only imagine how much more you would do with a budget.
Oh yeah, man! I got all sorts of fun ideas in my mind. I'm a huge film freak.
Yeah.
So I have all sorts of great things that I'm gonna do in the future.
Right.
Just even $1,000, right? What $1,000 could do to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So if there's anybody who wants to donate, I'm kidding.
We have Patreon going on right now.
Yeah.
So we were talking earlier about music and how all of our early bands, are coming out. And you're obviously a pop punk head. So
Yeah.
how did you really get involved with the music that you're doing, more acoustic singer-songwriter?
Well, like I was. No, I grew up listening to like Blink-182, Third Eye Blind,
Yeah.
Lit, and then I slowly.
They were just in town last night.
It was.
Yes,
I love those guys, man. I haven't listened to them, but I got the album. I'm totally going on a tangent, but
Yeah.
at Best Buy, I used to get my albums there. CD with like the girl on the floaty in the pool.
Man.
That one, man, it's crazy. Anyway, we're going back.
We're taking it back, man. I mean, everybody's reuniting this year, so might as well go back to those times.
Yeah, all those bands are coming back out with albums. It's
Yeah.
Blink and Good Charlotte and
Good Charlotte,
yeah.
41.
Yeah, man. I grew up with that, but then I got into film scores, and then I got into like Ray Charles and a lot of soul and Sam Cooke and Nina Simone,
Yeah.
and then I got into like Metallica and Def Leppard, just like because I played in a lot of bands. I was a drummer in a rock band and a guitar player in an indie band and blah blah blah. So like all styles of music are for me like I will go for them.
Yeah.
And so right now, I'm at a point in my artist career where I've released 2 singles. It's been about 7 months. And right now I have Lemonade out, and it's a singer-songwriter, but the song I'm working on right now isn't a singer-songwriter song.
Okay.
And the EP, in fact, it's different than that vibe. And purposely so. Like, I just like to attack different genres or different vibes.
Right.
And get in that mindset, kind of like a method actor gets in the mindset of, I was reading an article about the Joker and Jared Leto, how he got into it, whatever. And get into that mind of style and vibe and really go for it. And then do that and then switch it up. I think, switching things up is important.
That's good, because then you get a little bit of everything on the album.
Yeah.
But then I think that's going to be harder for it to be an EP.
Yeah, I have my ways. I'm figuring this one out.
So when working on this EP, since there's different styles on it, has there been a specific song that you've been struggling the most to like finish it?
Yes, there is. It's a song called What If, and it's funny, the song's about like questioning and like what if all this stuff, and I'm like, what if I don't finish it? What if I do?
What if I just write a full album?
Well, I have enough songs for a full album, but strategically wise, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
And at the same time, I'm having fun making a 4 or 5 song vibe, just really focusing on that. But yeah, I mean, some songs come in a week, some come in 2 days, and then a lot of these ones are coming in like months. Some of these songs have been. Sometimes you just have to put a song away or put a project or whatever, building a motorcycle. You just need to put things away for a little while, re-gear yourself, retool, and come back to it. And that's what I've been doing with a lot of these songs. So a lot of them have kind of molded themselves over a number of months.
Okay. Now with the EP, do you have like a date already scheduled for it? Is this something that for sure it's going to be this year, or is it like, are you still trying to figure it out?
Never. No, we're planning. We're shooting for October.
Okay.
Right now, we're on track for October. But I'm not going to say that it's 100% October. I can't say that. But I also need, I would say October, November, for damn sure.
And in between that, you're going to head out on tour with Mike Posner for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I just got off tour, moving now, and then I'm going back on tour for only like 12 days. But it's good. We get out, we do the rounds, we hit some radio stations and play some local TV, play some shows, drive in a car for a bunch of hours, and see cool places that you've never seen before. So yeah.
What is one thing that you've actually learned about Mike Posner as an artist, as a writer, as a performer?
He's a good dude, number one. Number two, he's been through the grunt of like going. I never went on tour in a van and had to go to the next city day after day after day after day after day. So he's someone who's done that, and a lot of people in this industry started like that. You know what I mean? I didn't start. Who knows? Maybe I end up doing that. You know, and I'm all for it. Yeah. I'm kind of do what I got to do to get what I need to get done. But I've just learned from that situation that, you know, appreciate what you have. You know, there's always going to be somebody who has life more comfortable, who can go on tour better than you. And there's always someone who's got it way worse. Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to keep that in perspective, you know? Like, oh, this is my situation, so sweet. Oh, but he's better than me. But you got to think about everything. And so for me, he's helped kind of just bring things into perspective for me.
Lastly, why should the audience, the music fans out there, even whether they've heard of you or not, why should they check your music out? What's so different about your music from any other artist?
I care very deeply about what I'm doing, and a lot of artists do, but I really put everything, like my whole life, from my workout in the morning to my diet to the books that I read to the people that I surround myself with. Right. It's all part of this thing that I call making music, and it's like I take these life experiences, and I think, as I'm going to go deep for a second, as people, we have the choice to react to circumstances in a certain way, or we have the choice to surround ourselves with certain people. Right. And I choose to surround myself in these situations, in these circumstances, and give these experiences to myself in order to not, it's more like I do these to get these experiences, but that I encapsulate it into my music. And so by that, the music is just a very, very important kind of diary of my life. And I know that human emotions and feelings and experiences are universal with all people. Yeah. So if I can put everything I have into making each word purposeful, even the thes and the ands and the buts, for a reason and a purpose, other people can relate to that. And in that, I think I'm contributing something to the world that can help people in a way that, you know, is unique.